This episode takes a deep look at the three major risks China is now facing. Civil unrest, marked by frequent protests and the rise of online resistance language. Military mutiny, reflected in shaken morale, constant purges, and an open letter that has rattled the armed forces. And a potential political coup, as internal resentment builds and the entire governance structure loosens. From the absurd chaos era of censorship to widespread bureaucratic paralysis, the CCP's governing machinery is now facing the danger of simultaneous breakdown on multiple fronts. As China enters 2025, the country has stepped into an unprecedented era of turbulence. Sparks of public resistance are erupting everywhere. Online mockery and coded satire defy absurd censorship. Retired high-ranking military officers openly call on active soldiers to follow their conscience. And discussions about coups, mutinies, and mass uprisings circulate across social platforms. On the surface, China appears calm, but beneath this stillness, massive pressure is building toward an irreversible tipping point. Before we dive deeper into today's full analysis, if you find value in our work, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, so you won't miss our continued coverage of China's rapidly changing political landscape. As 2025 draws to a close, the country resembles a pressure cooker that has been sealed for far too long. One spark after another shoots out, and experts warn that this year's wave of public resistance contains entirely new characteristics, signaling that large-scale unrest may be approaching. Throughout the year, intense grassroots protest erupted across cities, villages, and online spaces. In July, outrage exploded in Jiangyu, Sichuan, when a 14-year-old girl was stripped, beaten, and humiliated on video by peers, while authorities attempted to downplay the case. Massive demonstrations broke out, followed by violent clashes between armed police and citizens. In October, villagers in Cheongzhong, Hainan revolted after a state-owned enterprise illegally cut their betel nut trees, overturning vehicles and hurling stones at officials. Soon after, in Beihai, Guangxi, a desperate man rammed his car into the city government building. Meanwhile in Guiyang, Guizhou, citizens resisted forced grave digging and cremation policies, even shouting, "If the Communist Party wants to dig up our ancestors, start with Xi Jinping's family." By December, unrest had spread to major economic hubs. A large-scale strike in Shenzhen escalated into direct clashes with police, and a massive financial scandal in Hangzhou wiped out 20 billion yuan in savings, triggering protests by more than 10,000 victims. According to Freedom House, protests in the third quarter surged nearly 50% from the previous year. Even Beijing saw anti-Xi slogans appear on public walls during sensitive political events. Online, satire and coded criticism multiplied, and the suspicious death of actor Yu Menglong sparked a nationwide wave of public anger and withdrawals from the Communist Party, shaking the political atmosphere. Scholar Yuan Hongbing identifies three major trends in this year's civil resistance. Protest incidents have expanded nationwide across both urban and rural areas. The public mood is dominated by extreme despair caused by widespread unemployment among migrant workers, graduates, veterans, and entrepreneurs. And most significantly, resistance is increasingly political in nature, with Xi Jinping himself becoming the central target of public frustration due to economic decline, authoritarianism, and growing war risks. At the same time, the CCP has become acutely aware of a dangerous powder keg, China's 300 million migrant workers. In November, the regime issued a rare directive ordering local authorities to prevent large-scale return of unemployed workers to their hometowns, fearing the formation of massive populations of displaced people, historically the most rebellion-prone group. A secretly circulated pamphlet from the so-called Restoration Party, calling for a 2026 uprising, further heightened official anxiety. Yet local governments are facing fiscal collapse, civil servants are forced to repay years of social insurance, police salaries are delayed, and local administrations are breaking down. China's stability maintenance apparatus is hollowing out, creating a dangerous vacuum of governance. China's digital environment has entered what netizens call the chaos era, a reference to extreme censorship where even common words such as soldier are banned and replaced with coded letters. Multiple overlapping censorship systems, national, local, and platform-based, compete to outdo each other. The rollout of the National Internet Real ID system now ties every click to a real identity. Sensitive word databases have ballooned, with more than 35,000 Xi-related banned terms and over 60,000 political censorship rules across platforms. Even harmless words like disagree or the letter N have been censored in certain contexts. Yet ironically, the harsher the censorship, the sharper the satire. The unique online culture of river crab language has emerged as Chinese users cleverly evade digital landmines with homophones, symbols, and coded humor. Recently, an explosive development rocked overseas Chinese communities. An open letter from a retired high-ranking PLA officer addressed to all Chinese soldiers went viral. The letter declares that China is on the eve of historic change and that soldiers must choose their allegiance wisely, not to the Communist Party, but to the nation and its people. It states bluntly, a political party is not the country, and the People's Army has no obligation to be loyal to any party. This directly challenges the CCP's foundational doctrine that the party commands the gun. The author emphasizes that in civilized nations, militaries serve the constitution and the people, not a ruling faction. He contrasts the Soviet military's refusal to open fire on civilians in 1991 with the tragedy of Tiananmen in 1989, urging Chinese soldiers to raise their rifles an inch when confronted with immoral orders. The letter triggered heated debate online, with many commenters saying, the mission of a just army is to defend the people, not the party leadership. Experts now warn that China is approaching systemic collapse, not isolated failures, but simultaneous breakdowns in governance, economy, censorship mechanisms, military loyalty, and public trust. Inside the system, officials lie flat, avoid responsibility, and quietly prepare for a post-CCP future. Even the feared political police reportedly turn a blind eye, a sign of deep internal decay. Under such conditions, the possibility of a coup, military mutiny, or mass uprising increases sharply, and more dangerously, these forces may ignite one another, creating a chain reaction that could fundamentally reshape China's political trajectory. China today may appear stable on the surface, but beneath it, structural crises are accelerating and converging. A historic critical point approaches. The coming era will not be calm, but it may mark the most important turning moment in modern Chinese history. If you want to continue following China's unfolding transformation with clear, independent analysis, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive. Your support helps this community grow and keeps these discussions alive during a pivotal moment in history.